Um, Hello, are you able to take control? Hmm. Seems like it's either my mic or my headset or so because I sometimes hear the sound and it just disappear. If you are able to take control, you can just start with a class so that we can, even if we do 10 or 15 minutes, that will still be fine because this is for demonstration purpose. N- no,
I can hear you. Hello?
yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. It seems like somewhere there's some mixed connection, but I can hear you. But yeah, I was saying just if you can take control. Either my headset is losing connection or your mic is losing connection because sometimes I could hear you for a split second. It's like it's just somewhere some misconnection somewhere. Okay, maybe it's my headset because I'm moving. I could hear now. Oh, what is going on here? I'm really not sure of what. Yeah, yes, it is recording. You can just take over there. I think I'll get the voice from the recording.
Hello?
Yeah, I could hear everything. Did you move your pin?
Yeah, just touch it now. I can hear you.
Just hold it
Hello?
like that way, and then yeah, I could hear you perfectly.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I should
I,
move
I
on
think
now.
it's the yeah, I think it's the
Should I
pin
continue?
of your of yes, yes,
Hmm. So you can hear me?
perfectly clear.
Okay. Can you?
I lost you again. I think it's the pin of your mic. It's somewhere. It's not properly connected. Yeah, I could hear you again. It's more probably the pin of your mic.
Or maybe the network?
Yeah, no, no, no. It's the pin. Just hold it that way. It's the pin because it's connect and disconnect. The network is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, now I could hear you perfectly. You can just do one question that way. I think we are just halfway.
Okay, but did you get
Or
the other ones I
if
did?
no, no, the other. I think if you can just do that, completing the square, just
Yeah.
that method of completing the square only, and then move on to this one. Your thing was not that good, but anyway, let's just do one
Can I
question. I
let me
think that one will be perfect.
I can quickly repeat the first one. I can quickly
Okay,
repeat this
okay.
one.
You can just browse in from the beginning or wherever where you think.
Yeah,
I
I
think
did.
now
Yeah.
everything is perfect. Yeah, everything.
No,
Don't
okay.
don't shift the pin.
Okay. Now what I
Yeah.
was saying here, when you are solving for x, you can see that here there is a quadratic equation which is equal to 0. You can solve any
Mm.
quadratic equation without making this equal to 0. If it is equal to 5, you need to transpose your 5 to your left hand side and then simplify and make it equal to 0 before you can factorize. Now some learners will get confused if they put 4 here, then they don't know what next to do. So the most important thing here must be equal to what? 0. If I take you straight to the memo, let's go to the memo, you can understand what I mean. Just a moment. Yeah, question number 1. You can see when we do this, see here is a 0. It's a straightforward question. They only want to see 3 steps. The first one is a factorization, the factors. The second one is your 2 answers. Now here, the equation sign is in a standard form already, which is equal to 0. As I was saying, if here is 4, you need to transpose your 4 before you factorize. Now, before we factorize, I said before, a factor is a number that can divide another number without a remainder. So you will need to find the factor of x squared, which is x and s. Then we put in 2 different words, bracket. Then we find the factors of positive 14. You can see I underline both the sign. It's very, very important. Positive 14. If it's a negative, you must include the negative sign. Now the factors of positive 14 is 1 and 14. We have 2 and 7 because when you multiply the two of them, it will give you 14. 2 and 7, if you multiply, it will give you 14. But the major thing, which of them should we choose in this equation? We must choose the one that when you add those two factors, it will give us the coefficient of x here, which is what? Positive 9. Now, if we look at 1 and 14, which are the factors of 14, if you multiply them, it will give us 14, but when you add them, it's going to give us positive 15, which is not our positive 9 we are looking for. So we check the next factor, which is 4, 7, and 2. When you multiply them, it will give us 14, and when you add them, it will give us positive 9. So you now use those two. Put plus 7 and plus what? 2, and make it equal to 0. Then you separate them. S your 7 to give you s is equal to negative 7, or s is equal to negative 2. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes,
Is it
yes, I'm
clear?
with you. It's
It's
perfectly
clear. Okay,
clear.
let's move to 1.1.2. Now, when you're solving for
Okay.
1.1.2, you can see you have your 0, which is straightforward. It's straightforward because the equal sign end in 0. That means the y value here must be equal to what? 0. always remember that the value
Yeah.
you see here represents your y value. It is equal to 0. And in other words, if it is in the form
Okay.
of graph, you are looking for the s-intercept when y is equal to 0. Now, using the quadratic formula, it's advisable for all the learners to master this formula without even looking at your book. Now, you must be able to know which
Okay.
one is your A, which one is your B, and which one is your C. Now, you can see as I
Okay.
underlined
That is
here,
to.
mm,
Mm.
the s squared,
So that is to know
the
it by
number,
heart.
yes, exactly. You should know it by heart
Mm-hmm.
without looking at the book. It's important. It's important. Your s squared, the number in front of the s squared, which is the coefficient of s squared, represent our A. The number in front of x, which is positive 9, you see I'm including the sign positive 9, which represent our
Mm.
B. And our constant, which is negative what? 3. The signs in front of each number is important. It falls for the numbers as well. So you can see if there's a negative 4 here, so your A will be negative 4. But in this case, our A is positive what? 4. So it's advisable for you to list out all these parameters. A equal to 4, B is equal to 9, and C is equal to minus 3 before you start substituting
Mm.
into this equation. Now,
Okay.
you,
Okay.
you can see, that's why you see substitution is 1 mark. If you substitute correctly, it's 1 mark. Now, you see, I
Okay.
put a bracket for you for 9 here. There's a bracket I put here for 9. I advise learners to always put the bracket because in case your B is negative, some negative number, some learners will get
Mm.
confused and remove this standard negative number, this negative. So this negative
Oh.
remains. So you put a bracket, then put your negative what? 9, in case if it's a negative 9.
Okay.
So don't get confused. So it's advisable you put your
Mm.
negative, open a bracket, then put your B. If your B is positive, just write 9. If it's a negative 9, put inside here. Now you're going to have two negative outside and negative inside the bracket. But in this case, we have a positive values for 9. So you have positive, negative outside and positive in here. That makes it a negative 9 in the next step. Now you see your plus or minus, always put this in bracket squared, minus 4 times A. Your A is 4, and your C, you can see they put the C in negative in a bracket to make it easier for us to understand. Now in
Mm.
simplification, which is another 1 mark here, you simplify this. What is inside the bracket, which we call the discriminant? You can just punch this in the calculator. You get the answer put inside the bracket. Then you bring down your plus or minus. Bring down, you multiply the two signs. The sign outside is negative. The sign inside the bracket is positive. Negative times positive is negative 9. Now you are going to split
Right.
this into two. The one that has a positive and the one that has a negative. So you are going to have s is equal to minus 9 plus root of 129 over 8, or s is equal to minus 9 minus root of 129 over 8, which is, then you can get your two answers. And the
That's where
major
you get
thing
the
where
two
learners can,
answers.
yes, so where learners lose their mark is the substitution and the simplification. Because once you miss a step here, you lose the mark. So it's advisable you simplify them, leaving the root before you now separate them to get the two answers. The next alternative method here is the completing square method, which most learners, even looking at this memo, might be difficult for you to understand. That is why I have to
Mm.
make a little bit of sketching, and that might be a bit different, maybe an additional steps, understand what happened in the memo. Because it's one thing to give a learner memo, it's another thing for the learner to understand what the memo is saying. Now you can see you have 4s squared plus 9s minus 3 equal to 0. Now we are solving using the completing square method. Completing square method means you are going to find a perfect square trinomial, which time may not permit me to go in details, but maybe subsequent time classes we can go in details and explain that. Now, when you are doing completing square method, the coefficient of s squared is always a positive one. It's always a positive one. It's not negative one. It cannot be 4. So if here you can see the coefficient here is 4, what do we do in this case? Now you can see some learners will get confused. If you come to the memo, let me take you back to the memo briefly, I'll bring you back. If you come to the memo, you can see where they have these three here. We'll get confused and say, how come? What happened here? That is what I'm going to explain here. When you have equal to 0, here minus 3 is equal to 0 here. What do? We transpose our 3. You transpose this negative 3 to become a positive 3. Hello? 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 It's hanging. Hello? 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 Hello?